All right, g'day everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Soulcast. We got another special one, continuing our saga of interviewing
That is right.
platformer developers. Today we have Domo Yoro here, developer of Penguin Game. How's it going?
Hello.
I think before we get into your game, we might want to hear a little bit about yourself. What got you into game development? How long you been doing this business for? What's your whole shtick? Tell the audience,
Uh,
who you are.
yeah, so I haven't been in game development for that long. Uh I did a bunch of art in high school and I got my programming experience there as well. I thought I would be like a art major going in, but switched when I got to
Being
college.
converted.
Yeah. I've always found math to be easy, and the programming courses I took in high school were too easy. So kind of just was the easier route to go.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Nice.
so what got me into game dev? I've kind of always known that game dev was an option. My dad is in the industry.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Uh, yeah, so I've always known that it's a thing, and I've always really enjoyed video games. So I think that it's just been the thing that I wanted to do for the longest time.
Yeah, that would have been very insightful growing up with someone who's working in the industry.
Yeah. So, what does your dad do then?
He's a lead programmer. I'm gonna
Oh,
avoid
right.
like giving away too many
Yeah, yeah,
details,
of course.
but
Oh, NDA. Yep.
yeah,
That's cool. You got like a personal mentor.
kinda, yeah.
Sick. Nice.
Cool. Are you a fan of his games?
Um,
You don't have to answer that on on recording.
On the record,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
yeah.
Off the record.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Is Penguin Game like, have you made many games prior? Is this your first forte into like a big full length sort of project, or what's your prior experience? Making games and stuff.
Prior to this, I had two projects in school, that were multiple months long and overscoped for school projects,
Yeah, like
but
Yeah,
they
that's
were
relatable
definitely
for
fun
us.
though. Like
yeah,
I had a lot of fun building my own little engine to render tiles and shadows and all that, but
that's
yeah.
cool. And was that for like a programming course? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I ambitious end of the year project.
yeah.
Sweet.
But you learn a lot. You learn a lot when you put yourself in
Uh,
there. Oh, maybe
yeah.
not.
I don't know. Um,
Yeah, no, fair enough. So then, how long ago did you start working on Penguin Game?
Penguin Game is just over 2 years old now.
Oh, wow.
It started January 2020, so it wasn't started because of the pandemic, but it became a pandemic project.
Yeah, I think it was an
Nice.
Uh,
I
important
guess
thing
you would
for
have
a
had
lot
like
of
a lot of hours to.
yeah,
grind
a lot of
sink
time
in.
to
Yeah,
myself to work on
yeah,
this.
yeah. I think a lot of people picked up like any hobbies in general during the
Oh yeah.
pandemic, and I guess by virtue of everyone doing that, a lot of people really got stuck into game dev, which is cool.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is cool. Do you want to give like an elevator pitch for what Penguin Game is? Because I mean, we know what it is. We've played it, right? But the for
Right.
the audience who doesn't,
Yeah, so Penguin Game it's a fast-paced precision platformer, featuring a penguin strapped to a soda bottle. The soda bottle can be used as like a dash or like a directional dash up, horizontal or down, or it could be used to like particularly for horizontal, you can use it to gain momentum. Um, when other people see it, they describe it as Sonic mixed with Celeste, which
yeah,
is pretty accurate,
Penguin,
but
Sonic, Celeste. If you
yeah,
if you if
there's
you
a
if you
lot
have
of
to
things I want
vision,
to do.
yeah, if you have to envision something in your brain, if you have not seen this game yet, imagine, yeah, Penguin, Sonic, Celeste. And I haven't played Sonic myself. I have played Celeste. I haven't played Sonic, but something that I picked up from playing it is like a lot of the slope, like movement stuff, is like really fun to like get like heaps of
Oh
like
yeah.
speed. Um,
It's really satisfying just to get loops and stuff going.
yeah,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
I
Slopes,
yeah, you go, sorry, go.
slopes were definitely the hardest mechanic to implement, because it I had to rewrite it uh, twice, and it took like 2 months at least of the 20 months of active development, and I'm sure there's at least another month
Yeah,
or
more
two
to
of
come. Yeah.
dedicated fixes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in like Sonic, I never really because like I said I haven't played it, but I've seen footage and stuff. I never really see Sonic actually go like launching off the slopes. It's he's sort of like on rails, but in like Penguin
Yeah,
game, you like can detach from the slopes and just go like absolutely like blast off into the
yeah. There's like the second
atmosphere.
dimension to it.
Is that an
Yeah,
accurate assumption of what Sonic games are like? Because I don't think Sonic games are like that, right?
Sonic games do let you blast off and get creative with the physics.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's uh, I had to study a lot of Sonic level design to just like understand how slopes are used in gameplay. It's most apparent in like Sonic Mania or any game that isn't really the first game, because the
Yeah.
first game was more experimental, and Green Hill Zone is pretty much the only place where like good slope jumps come into play.
Right.
But yeah, it's been present, and it's something that I actively enjoy while playing the games.
Yeah, the slopes kind of like they're all kind of like set up for you in a way that kind of propels you through like the levels. It doesn't really feel like it's a chore to like a workout where you're trying to go. Because you kind of
Yeah,
just look for
for
the
sure.
slope and where the slope is pointing you, and then ride that, and you're sorted. So that was really fun. So the general like movement is like pretty. It's pretty like floaty in general. Is how I would like describe it. But it still feels like your character has like a lot of weight. So it feels like you have a lot of control over them. But when they like gain momentum, um, it really feels like fun when you can let them fly. Like there's not a lot of
Yeah,
like drag like that. Was
yeah.
was that always how it was from like the start, or how many iterations did you really go through with the physics that you wanted for the game?
It's that was kind of the initial vision was, and that's part of why the a penguin was chosen, was because you can't really fly, but it can definitely feel like flying to, absolutely go off in directions. So yeah, from the start, it was actually inspired by Plague Knight, the Shovel Knight expansion, with the bomb jumps and the double jump.
Yeah.
Um, but within Plague of Shadows, Plague Knight's campaign takes place within Shovel Knight's levels, so the platforming isn't really built to accommodate or challenge Plague Knight's moveset, and that was something that I thought would be interesting to explore.
Sort of extrapolate upon. Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
interesting.
right.
The last guest that we had on, their game was sort of like an exploration of like some similar mechanic, or not similar mechanic, but like a mechanic from I think it was like Rivals of Ether or something like that. It was just like this one move set from a character in a different game that they decided to make a whole game about.
Yeah, and
Um,
like blow it up, making it
yeah,
like its own thing.
so it seems to be a common theme among developers to sort of take a very I suppose simple like concept that's like a lot of people might have. It's like us, for example. We have a platform where you can't touch the ground, right? The floor is lava. It's not a new concept. But then the way that you sort of extrapolate that into like a full game is where the interesting design stuff can come in. It was
Yeah,
pretty
there's so
interesting.
many unique ways to execute on an idea that, games will be very different.
Yeah, even if at the very like base of the tree you start with the same sort of concept, even just a different developer will take it a completely different way.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
if we were to make like a slope based penguin game, I'm sure it would turn out like completely different.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally.
So that's kind of interesting. One of the questions that I had was like why penguins, and I guess that does kind of make sense with the whole like they don't actually fly, but they do have like their whole sliding thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about. I don't really know much about real penguin lore in the real world, but I'm pretty sure they do like slide down like slopes to get into the ocean, right?
They got like a big belly, right? They just
Yeah, is that not something
it's like
Yeah.
a toboggan.
they do?
Yeah, it is something that I researched a bit for animation in particular.
Yeah,
The sliding, the sliding was actually a part of the original moveset uh, idea as well, because like with Plague Knight, you had the multiple jumps in the air, but once you landed, you would just lose your speed. And I'm like, well, wouldn't it be fun to just be able to keep going on the ground at the speed and then jump and keep building more speed?
Yeah.
So I want to bring in something like Super Mario Sunshine's dive move, which I absolutely love, and just, allow people to experiment with momentum in all sorts of ways.
Yeah, the momentum feels like really great. It's like people do that, like the top Celeste players go crazy with momentum and stuff, but it's like I have no idea how to do that. Like it's beyond me.
Yeah.
But then in like playing Penguin game, it's like so easy to get the thrill of going fast.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to stack speed, as I call it. Like I want to map out like a speed quadrant at some point to like just understand how everything fits together. I
Yeah.
mean, like I do understand it, but like there's interesting level design implications that I can get from certain areas of speed.
Yeah. Do you like? That's another thing I want to ask. When you like design a lot of these levels, because I mean we've only played through like these couple of demo areas, right? Um, do you design them with players like having to utilize all the mechanics at like total precision, or is it more like open ended? Because I felt when I played, um, I could like approach levels in like a multitude of different ways because they were so uh, like the opening levels, right? So they're very simple to get through, and there were many different like routes that I could take to sort of navigate them. Does the game sort of like stay like that? Are you planning to keep the game like that for like the later levels, or like what's the process behind level design? Do you have like
Definitely planning on keeping multiple approaches. That
yeah
I believe is important to the game's design. It's something that I enjoy a lot about Super Mario Sunshine. Just being able to forge your own route and shortcuts.
Hmm.
yeah
So that is a level design pass that I do to make sure that there's always like something cool that you can do that isn't necessarily the main route.
yeah
That has to be harder or more challenging than the main route.
yeah? It
Yeah,
definitely
right.
feels very natural to just like sort of throw yourself at a level and like organically work out how you make it to the other end.
Yeah, I agree.
Glad to hear it works.
Yeah, speaking of, do you have like how much like playtesting has it gone through? Like how much feedback have you received on like the actual
Uh,
game?
a, a lot.
Yeah.
I do build reviews with close friends every week to follow up on stated goals, which helps keep me on track. But I've gotten a lot of people to play test over the whole span of the 2 years. Um,
Yeah, I think it's good to get like a diversity of people playing the game too.
Yeah.
for
Where you like
sure.
grab feedback from like two people like us who never played the game before, like knew nothing about the game other than like what we've seen on Twitter, and then to hear from us that it's all working good,
Yeah.
it must be
Yeah.
reassuring.
Yeah, especially, spending 2 years working on this. It's just like, oh God, thank it works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hallelujah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really play like many platformers myself, right? So yeah, like me picking it up, obviously with that like a platformer background, took me like a little bit to get used to, but like eventually, I was going through it quite well, as well. So I think yeah, like it's good to get that diverse player base early on. So it better represents more of like the open population, which you'll get as you get like more people coming on, or like if you make like a release.
Right, yeah. I plan on opening things up with more demos later down the line, but
Yeah, nice.
as is, it's just like, oh, it took so long to just get this one level to look good and presentable and say, like, this is what the final game probably will look like, and those are the things I'm focusing on for, like, more public uh, examples.
Yeah, right. So with the presentability, I noticed. I think I saw like the first thing of the game that I saw was the clip on itch with all like the placeholder assets, and
Yeah, the Twitter
then
post.
yeah, that's it. And then I think yeah, like after that, I saw all the screenshots with the new art in there. Was that like more of like a recent thing that was put in?
Yeah, that was very recent. So the latest art push was basically November.
Oh right.
So yeah, like the last 2 3 months I've just been like focusing on the art.
Sweet.
Um,
Have you been working on the art? Because I saw on the post you said you were looking for someone to like do the art, but have you
right.
taken on that yourself, or what's the deal with that?
Yeah, so for the longest time I thought, well, programming and level design already takes up so much time. I will definitely like need help. So I always offset art to like we'll commission these art assets eventually.
Right.
But there's been difficulties with that sort of process and everything involved. But yeah, eventually
You bit the
the
bullet.
top so sorry, what were you saying?
You bit the bullet.
Yeah, eventually I'm like, well, enough is enough. I'm a capable artist. I can go in and, make things look pretty nice.
Oh, nice.
But really I do have to thank Dan, who developed Right, because he was someone that who I commissioned to help get tiles done, and he did the tiles for the first level there, as well as a mock-up for the background, and I created a lot of assets around that.
All right. So
Um,
like the art style is kind of like that mix of like the two inputs there.
yeah, yeah, I suppose it worked out that way. I
Right.
originally did give Dan some instructions on like, here's what we're aiming for, and but
You didn't just
yeah, overall I
let
think
him
it's
rip loose.
Let them go.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. So what
Uh,
kind of like inspirations were you looking at with the visuals?
Honestly, really I think back to Katamari a lot. I've always liked its pastel style,
Mm.
um, as well as like some. I take some little bit of inspiration from like Game Boy Color titles and what they can do with like limited palettes and
Yeah.
space.
Right.
But yeah, I like pastel style with like high readability because when you're moving at ridiculous
Yeah.
speeds.
Yeah.
I don't want noise all over the level that makes it hard to interpret what's going on.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, all the tiles got this black infill so that you can easily tell where the playable space is and where it isn't. And, I consistently go back with screenshots. Anytime I add a new color, I'll take a screenshot of a room and make sure that the color within the grayscale mapping is like consistent relative from
Yeah.
background to foreground.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Yeah, interesting. That's cool. Sounds smart.
Mm.
Sounds smart. I really like my favorite part about the art is like the player animations of like the penguin. It really feels like it's like actually kind of like alive with all the spins
Yeah,
and
I'm a
stuff
big
that it
fan of
does.
the animations as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I did all the penguin animations.
How long
It's
did
been
oh sorry.
interesting.
How long did those
Uh,
animations take to get out? Because they look pretty thorough.
there's been multiple passes, so I can't really give that much of an estimate.
Right.
Uh, yeah, I just go in and like so for the burst, when you did a burst upwards or forwards or downwards, the penguin does this like dive motion.
Mm.
That didn't actually come in until like November on a more recent pass where I just added like smear frames and
Yeah.
all
Right.
this wonderful stuff everywhere. Um,
Yeah, it's coming together
yeah.
though. It's all coming together.
Thank you.
I was like wondering like earlier why there was like all these like bottle cap theme stuff, and then like it only clicked to me during the interview when you mentioned the what even is it on its back? It's basically a bottle. It's like
The soda bottle.
Right, the
yeah, the
soda
soda bottle.
bottle.
Yeah, it only then clicked. I was
With
like,
the
okay,
vending
now it
machines.
all makes sense. It's like why are there like vending machines and like we're collecting caps and stuff, but now it makes sense. That's a cool. It's like a cool aesthetic. There's penguins and soda, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I have more planned down the line, but it's been an interesting thing to, think about and like research.
Yeah, it certainly stands out.
Because, yeah,
It's good.
originally the penguin started out with like a water gun,
Ooh.
uh, because again of the Super Mario Sunshine
Yeah.
influence, and you'd like charge up the water gun and release it, and that's how you do your burst jump.
Oh, right.
But yeah, to simplify things, like the water gun shooting mechanic just like never really made it anywhere, and that was removed super early on.
Cool. So that was
And
like an
so
early
like
iteration.
yeah,
Cool.
so yeah, so like, well, if you're just doing these charge up and releases, like a pressurized water gun made sense, but not in the sense that like you could like shoot it. So what else was there? And like a soda bottle was a really good fit for that.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Nice.
What's the plan with the is Penguin Game like the final name?
No,
No,
it's not the final name. We've gone through like a lot of name drafts, but like nothing really
nothing's clicked yet.
speaks out to it
You're just
yet.
waiting for the perfect
Um,
name.
yeah, I'm sure they'll come soonish because like there's I'm going through and I'm dressing up a lot more levels, which means thinking about the themes a lot more and the you know perhaps the story. So yeah, we'll
Penguin
figure
lore.
it out soonish.
But yeah,
The lore,
yeah.
yeah.
The deep, gritty
As to
backstory
yeah,
of
yeah,
the penguin.
the origin story of the soda on its back.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I suppose that's your plans for the I suppose immediate future is sort of dressing up all the internal levels for public eyes, I
Yeah,
guess.
this next month is dressing up levels, and then I'll start building new levels after that because like a lot of mechanics and systems are in place. This wasn't in the build you played, but I did get like an options menu and rebindable controls,
Let's
so like
go.
all the good stuff.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah,
Are you using the new Unity input system or the old one?
the new input system we upgraded at some point. It, I couldn't get it working on my first go because like apparently there were conflicts with the GameCube adapter drivers I had installed, and I never knew that.
Uh,
Uh, so yeah, took a while, but we're there, and it works, and it is good.
Sweet. On the Unity thing, are you using the Unity built-in physics, or do you like write your own, or like how's it been working in Unity doing platformers? Because Unity physics are notoriously frustrating.
Yeah. So the gist of it is that Unity does the collision and preventing solids from overlapping, and I control all the velocity and positions.
Cool.
Uh,
So you basically, yeah,
so
you basically just wrote like your own rigid body, basically.
more or less,
Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of behavior for like dealing with ground and preserving speed and like corner correction, and
yeah,
there's so much.
yeah. That's crazy. And then yeah, you should use like the box 2D stuff to handle collisions. It's probably smart.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, because you mentioned earlier that like for like a school project, you did like you made like your own engine. Was that what I heard earlier?
Yeah, it was for Java, I believe, and like I actually did have a lot of trouble with collisions. The player would frequently clip inside tiles and just get stuck, and it's just like, well,
Yeah. So you're
hmm.
like, is that probably what led you towards using, I suppose, a pre-existing engine to sort of carry some of that load when so you can
Yeah, one
focus
of
on
the
other stuff.
things.
Yeah. Well, what are the
It
other
was
things?
fun building my own stuff, but I figured that, if I wanted to make an actual game, then it's probably just better to go ahead and use pre-built systems and
Yeah,
stuff.
if you wanted to finish a game.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds very, very, very interesting. I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'm listening. I'm excited. When so with your planning, right? You said like next month is like dressing up levels and stuff. How far ahead do you like plan? Because if it's just you working, right, there must be some degree of like self discipline that you'd have to sort of I suppose imply, not imply. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Employ.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
works.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so usually for most of development, it was usually just like 1 month ahead for like whatever the game needed most,
Yeah.
whatever was bothering me the most. But yeah, with the 2 year anniversary of development, I sat down like, okay, what are all the things that would need to be done for this milestone and this milestone and this
Yeah,
milestone.
the steps
So
for
I
completion.
yeah, and I went back and I looked at how many hours like level design took and gray boxing and iteration and all that. And so yeah, there was this big planning week and I figured out the next few months, basically all the way up until like July, August.
Cool.
Um,
Have
I
the
expect
yeah, sorry, go.
yeah, I expect development to go on beyond there because I'm sure there's also just unknowns or like extra levels that I'll implement, but like for the most
Yeah.
part, I think I have a pretty solid plan figured out.
Yeah. Have your predictions been accurate thus far for how long things will take?
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Fairly on
I
the ball.
usually try to, for the most part, I make sure that I have more than enough time to get a task done,
Yeah.
so that in case, something does come up, it doesn't like impact the schedule too much.
No
And then with
crunching.
that, yeah, I really do not want to crunch or go overboard. I try to maintain a healthy schedule.
Well, that being said, you
So
don't really
yeah,
have a deadline, do you, right? Or maybe you
not
have,
really,
yeah.
no.
Cool.
There are goals I want to hit. I definitely want to make it to Sage 2022. Sage being the Sonic Amateur Games Expo.
Oh, okay.
All
What's that?
right.
Yeah, tell the audience and me a little bit about that.
Um, well, so the I'm not actually like a big Sonic fan or part of the Sonic community, but like Sage is like a pretty good publicity event for indie games and Sonic fan games and hacks. And it is something that I've been attending every year and looking forward to. And with the slope jumping mechanics, it just seems like a natural fit to go ahead and uh, present Penguin Game there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is it
right.
just like an expo with like Sonic adjacent games? Is that what the gist of it is?
It's a expo mostly focused on the Sonic fan games and hacks, and any indie game can present itself there, but I'm pretty sure that the audience is more than interested in Sonic-like games.
Yeah, yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Is it like a physical expo or like an online thing?
It's a digital expo. Um, yeah,
Cool.
they do it every summer.
Sweet.
That's like our equivalent of like Aussie PAX. It's probably where
Oh
we
yeah.
would like to see ourselves at some point. Um, it's just cool to go to those expos and yeah, not only see everyone else's games, but like talk to the developers and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Network.
for sure.
That's a
I'd
sort
love
of
to do more networking.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an element that you miss in like a lot of the online expos and stuff is uh, a bit less interaction with the devs. Like it
Oh
feels
yeah.
less grounded, I guess.
That's what we missed with PAX Online for Australia this year.
Two
Oh,
years in
last
a
year.
row. Two
Yeah.
years in a row.
Yeah. It was just kind of like focused, just on like those kind of mainstream panel things that you would see in like a physical PAX, but it's with like a really large disconnect to like the audience. I feel because weren't like half of them like pre-recorded anyway.
Yeah,
So
it was really
it's
bizarre. Like for PAX Australia, they did like a bunch of live panels, like they live streamed panels, but the panels were pre-recorded. Um, so
so
it
it was
was
just
like
like
yeah,
VODs being live streamed
yeah,
and then turned into more
Yeah.
VODs.
it's just bizarre.
Yeah. So yeah, here's to like this year of conventions being actually good for networking and stuff and good for developers. So yeah,
Please.
fingers crossed. That'd be really
Yeah,
nice.
hopefully they figured some things out.
Yeah. Or even just like improving the online ones. Like
That's
Yeah.
true.
it a bit.
Though to be,
Yeah.
we got to give credit last year because it was going ahead. Like physical PAX was going ahead.
Oh yeah, it
And
got
then it
cancelled
just
within
got
like the last
blasted in like a couple months.
2 months, like a
yeah.
month. Yeah, it was. They had to really act on their feet to get something up and running, and I think that they did a pretty good job to
Yeah.
wrangle things. So
We can't be too harsh, hey.
it's bloody
Right.
COVID.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can't really predict any of that.
No. Are there any like other games that like you're into that aren't like platformer based, or are you just
I
mainly sort of
mean,
engrossed in the platforming sort of scene?
uh, genre-wise, nothing in particular, but I always have a soft spot for Nintendo games, particularly of the GameCube era.
Yeah.
Uh, Pikmin 2 is my favorite game of all time. So
Okay, nice.
I'm ashamed to admit I've never played a Pikmin game in my life. Was there a Pikmin game on
yeah,
the Wii?
I don't blame
I
you.
don't know.
The GameCube games were ported to the Wii with the Wii
Oh, that's
controls,
true. Yeah. So I guess I have no
which you
excuse.
could, yeah,
I never
you
had a
could
Wii
get them
growing
for
up.
like.
So
Cool. Well, Max, do you have any other questions?
I think that was it.
Yeah, I've gone through all my questions. We didn't really get a lot of questions from the community either, but hopefully after they listen to this, they'll be a little bit more interested in Penguin Game. Do you want to let them know where to find you, etc., etc.?
Yeah. So right now there's pretty much only one place, and that's on Twitter, at Domo underscore Yoro underscore.
Yeah, the link
Um,
will be down
and yeah.
below. So,
In the description.
yeah, be too easy. Was there anything that you wanted to say to continue the episode, or
Thanks for having me.
yeah?
It was,
Thanks for coming on.
yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, sweet. Too easy. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to go down below and check out Penguin Game. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for when some demo stuff gets public. Wait until you can
Ears
get your
peeled?
hands on the cool stuff that me and Max have been able to play with.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll enjoy it, especially if you guys have been following Eurus and stuff. It's a very different sort of game, but fun. Fun. So
Very fun.
we'll catch you all in the next episode. Not sure who we're having on next, but who knows? If you have someone that you'd like us to get on the show, leave it in the comments down below.
Yes, suggestions would be great.
Would be great. As usual, all our links for everything we do is also down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Peace.
you.